I'm going to talk about the future of keys in our state, like keys, jingling keys, house keys, car keys. Keys are up for debate at the Capitol. While it's been 2 years since lawmakers added strict lead limits, there's now a conference committee that's deciding whether this law should actually take effect in this summer as planned. Here's Ian.
At this Golden Valley Ace Hardware, the shelves are stocked with just about anything you need.
We sold so many this weekend.
A key business for many.
Just remember to push hard.
And Dale Hoffman is just about used to the key business.
Busy day, we can make about 300.
Every day,
It's crazy.
the machine cuts and Dale buffs.
Pretty much tune out the sound. Most people do not like the sound of cutting keys.
A symphony of sound that might go silent soon.
We have too many other expenses and to just throw money away doesn't make sense.
Starting in July, the keys Dale sells here, the keys many hardware stores and locksmiths use, won't be legal to sell under Minnesota law. In 2023, the legislature passed a bill that limits the amount of lead that can be in keys. Dale says most keys have up to 2% lead, which makes them easier to cut. This law limits that to 0.009% by total weight.
I just think it's common sense. You're just going to extremes. I don't see the need for it.
And at the state capitol Tuesday,
We're here today with a simple but urgent message.
lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agreed.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue because this is impacting every Minnesotan.
Joined by business owners and more, they came together for the middle ground.
We shouldn't, and I'm going to use a pun, we shouldn't lock out common sense.
Coming together to stop us getting locked out of our everyday.
We have just 6 days until the end of this legislative session. Lawmakers have a chance to end on a bipartisan high note.
The Senate has a proposal to fix this and is now working with the House to include it in conference committee negotiations.
And we are the only government in the entire universe that has this outlawed. The only one in the universe. So if there was a store on the moon, you could buy keys at that store.
Back at Ace, Dale says they're already competing against bigger stores. And if someone can't buy keys here, they may never get them back.
You lose that customer, and once a person changes their habit, they're gone.
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency tells me they've been taking more of a notice type of approach instead of a heavy-handed one. In a statement, they told me there are already safer alternatives among keys and that 80% of vehicle and bicycle keys tested at random by the Department of Health were lead-free. But they also say, quote, the unnecessary use of lead in consumer products contributes to an unnecessary public health problem.
Sorry, it's my face. Right. So.
Yeah.
You heard from the people at the Capitol today. Is this really going to be something that goes into effect, or are we talking like the keys are going to be like real ID, like kind of sort of we told you to get it, but not really?
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of sick of waiting for Real ID, and I think a lot of people were. I mean, listening to them, 6 days is a tight turnaround, right? It's a bipartisan effort. You got folks on both sides of the aisle. As we kind of talked about in that story, there's kind of this effort from the Senate side to kind of work with the House side to kind of get this through. So some bipartisan support, and gosh, I really hope it doesn't take as long as Real ID to get this through, because obviously it's a huge deal for businesses if they're not able to do this.
All right, well, we'll stay tuned. Thanks, Ian. You're now the key guy. Be right back.